Hey guys, TRIGGAHaPpPPY here, and I'm back again with another tutorial. I know it's been a while since I last made another tutorial. Reason being is because I'm lazy and I just really didn't have the time to make tutorials. Plus, I kind of ran out of ideas, so that's that too. But after numerous messages on YouTube after I uploaded my last montage on people asking how I should make a tutorial on this particular transition, I finally gave in to the pressure and decided to do one. The transition that I'm talking about is the particle transition that I did in my last montage. And if you guys haven't seen my last montage, here's basically what the transition looks like and what it will look like when it's finally rendered. So here. So that particle transition you see is basically what we're gonna do today. Before I go or move on, I just want to say I did get a new mic, so I sound more human, I guess, because I got a lot of complaints that I sound a lot monotoned and stuff in my last tutorial. So yeah, basically the program you need to do this is Adobe After Effects. Plus there's a couple of third-party plugins you need, which is Red Giant, Trapcode Form, and Shine. And there's ways of getting those, because I'm not gonna say the ways of getting them, because copyright reasons and whatnot. But you guys should also stay tuned for a little snippet of my montage that I'm working on right now. Well, not personally my montage, it's another person's montage, but I'm editing it basically. So I rendered out a little 59-second snippet of it. It's basically the intro of it. So yeah, just stay tuned for that, or stay tuned for that. I'm already messing up talking, but whatever. Let's begin. First thing you need to do is create a new composition. 1280 by 720, 59.94 frames per second, and duration 5 seconds long. And name this composition footage 1. Now duplicate this 5 times, Control D, until you get 6 individual composition. Now for composition tree, you want to change the name to displacement. For footage 4, you want to change the name to alpha map. For footage 5, you want to change the name to fade. And for footage 6, you want it to be called main. Now just open up all these composition. Alright, now for footage 1, it's the name says it's all. You're gonna put footage or your first clip in it. So I am going to select a clip. This will do, and drag it into the footage 1 composition. Now you're going to just go to the part where you want the transition to happen. So like for me, I want it to happen maybe here. So I'm just going to shorten the clip by selecting or pressing Alt plus the left bracket key. Then I'm gonna right click, go to time, and freeze frame. I'm also going to import my color correction that I've been using a lot lately. It's a custom one that I've made and I really enjoy it a lot. It's pretty sexy. See, look how beautiful that looks. This is how it looks before and after. Is big difference. I really like it a lot. So next you just go to footage 2, and I'm just gonna use the same clip again. Just go to a different area in it. So maybe like here, and do the same thing, right click, time, and freeze frame. I'm just gonna copy my color correction again. Control C and just paste it on my footage. Normally I just put them on an adjustment layer, but this is just a tutorial. I can't be bothered with it now. So next, you want to go into your displacement composition and take footage 1 and footage 2 and drag them in. Now go 1.5 seconds in and press T on your keyboard to bring up the opacity and keyframe the opacity. Now for footage 2 you want it to be at 0% and footage 1 you want it to be 100%. Now go 10 frames in by pressing shift and page down and change footage 2 to 100% and footage 1 to 0%, so it's basically like a fade. That looks really good right there. Now I'm just going to select both of these and Control C, go in my alpha layer or alpha map composition and Control V to paste them. Now for the footage 2 you want to make it a 3D layer by clicking this button right here underneath the 3D cube, 3D layer, and press R on your keyboard and go to the Y rotation and change it to 180. So basically footage 2 is going to be reversed. So like the scope is normally over here, but it's now over here, so it's basically backwards. And then that should be it. Now go into the fade layer and just Control V again, because you already have the footage in the displacement layer copied, so just paste it in the fade layer and that should be it. Now go into your main layer and select the alpha, displacement, and fade compositions and drag them in. Now for this should be good right here. So next thing you want to do is in your main composition with all the alpha, displacement, and fade. The reason we name them alpha and displacement is because we're going to basically use those for the form thing to recognize it. So I'm gonna go to layer, a new solid, and rename it to form. And on that solid you're going to go to effect, Trapcode, and form. Now you're going to change a few settings in this to make it look the way we want it to look. If you guys watched my first OCE that I did, the Black Ops one, the lasers was actually created using this form plugin. So the base form, you're going to change it to 1280 by 720. Basically the size of your composition, like you just adjust it accordingly. Like if you're working in 1920 by 1280, you would just put 1920 by 1080. And for the size in Z, you want it to be 0. For the particles in X, you want it to be 430. Particles in Y, you want it to be 240. Particles in Z, you want it to be 1. And basically just close down the form, base form thing. Now open up the particle and go to size and change it to 2. And then go to layer maps, color, and alpha. Set the layer to basically the alpha map right here. Just set the layer to alpha, functionality RGBA to RGBA, map over XY, and close the color and alpha. Go to displacement, change the functionality to individual XYZ, and map over XY. Now change the layer for Z to the displacement map, which is this one. Now just keyframe the strength. Actually Control Z that. Go to 1 seconds in and keyframe the strength. Now close down displacement and you should be done with layer maps now. Now go to, what is it? Disperse and twist, and set a keyframe for disperse. Now go to fractal field and change the displacement mode to XYZ individual and set a keyframe for Z displace. Now for the flow in Z, you want to change it to 50%, and the F scale, you want to change it to 8. And that should be it for form. Now the keyframes that we set, you're going to change some of the values around. So at 1 second, the strength is at 50, so you need to change it to 0. Go forward to 1 second and 1.5 seconds, and change the strength to 450. This is probably going to be a long tutorial, but it's worth it. Now go to 2 seconds in and change it to 650. Change the disperse to 2. And set the Z displace to 300. Now go to 3 seconds and put them all at 0. Next, you want to, on that same form layer, click T on your keyboard to bring up the opacity and keyframe the opacity. Now press U again to bring up all the keyframes. Go forward 5 frames by pressing down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and change the opacity to 0. Now go to 1 second and go backwards 5 frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and set it to 0. Next thing you want to do is go to layer, new camera, and default should be okay. Now go to layer, new null object, and for the null object you want to change the name to camera controls. You just extend these. Okay, and for the null object, you want to make it a 3D layer by again clicking this box underneath this 3D cube, and then go to camera and whip it to the null object. Now for the null object, you want to press R on your keyboard to bring up the orientation and keyframe the Y rotation. I'll press U 2 times to bring up just that one keyframe. Go to 1.5 seconds in, and actually 2 seconds in, and change this to -90, and go to 3 seconds, and then -180. Now press P on your keyboard. For the camera, at 3 seconds, just press the position and put a keyframe, and then go to 1 second in, and then just add another keyframe. Now 1.5 seconds in, you want to change this to 39.0, and the middle value, you don't need to worry about it. For the last value, you want to change it to -281.7. Now at 2.5 seconds in, you want it to be 0. The middle one you don't need to worry about again, and the last one you want it to be -415. And next thing, just right click or just highlight all of these keyframes, and you could just press F9 on the keyboard, but since I'm recording, it's gonna pause my Camtasia Studio, so I'm just gonna right click, keyframe assistance, and easy ease. and close these down. Next thing you want to do is to, on the alpha and displacement layer, you don't really need to see those, so just turn off the, or just turn them off by just pressing this I thing. I don't know what to call it, the I thingy. So basically, here's what we have so far. But as you can see, the fade is still faded on. So what we need to do is at 1 second, we're going to keyframe the opacity by pressing T, bring up the opacity, keyframe it, and then go forward 20 frames in. So press Shift, page down 2 times to be 20 frames in, and change it to 20%. Now go to 2.5 seconds in and change it to 25%. Now go to 3 seconds and change it to 100%. Now we're also just gonna go back to the first keyframe and go to Effect, Blur and Sharpen, and add a fast blur. Tick Repeat Edge Pixels and add a keyframe at 1 second. Press U on your keyboard to bring up that keyframe. Go forward 40 frames in by pressing Shift down 4 times and change it to 255%. Now go forward 63 frames in, so Shift down 6 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then let go of Shift and go forward 3 individual frames, so 1, 2, 3, and change it to 155%. Then go to 3 seconds and change it to 0%. And then we're also going to make these an easy ease. Now if we scrub through these, you can see it's basically there already. The next thing we need to do is, as you can see, it's not colored, it's all like bland. So we're going to go to Layer, a new adjustment layer. Let me just extend this. Then we're going to go to Effect, Trapcode, and Shine. Then we're going to change the boost light to 2, transfer mode to screen, and then at 1 second in, we're going to keyframe the shine opacity. Press U on your keyboard, go forward to 1.5 seconds and add another keyframe, go back to 1 second and change this keyframe to 0. Now at 2.5 seconds we're going to add another keyframe, and at 3 seconds we're going to change it back to 0. So it's basically like a fade on, so the shine is only affecting the part that's breaking up. So next thing, just go into the shine and go to colorize and change it from a 3 color gradient to any one of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 settings. I like to use USA. I really like it a lot. But again, you could use any one of these one, like Romance is good. It's all like reddish and whatnot. What else is good? Mars is also good. But Electric is pretty beautiful too. I think for the sake of this I'm going to use Electric. You could also add like Effect, Trapcode, and Star Glow to really bring out some of those glowiness. Maybe change this to a 5 or maybe a 2. I don't want it to be that powerful. And then you can also, you know, just animate the opacity for it too by the Star Glow opacity. change it to 0. Go forward to 1.5 and change it to 100, to another keyframe, and out to 0. So then you could go to color map A, maybe change it to a different type, maybe like USA. Let's see. Maybe like fire seems good. And then you could go to color map B and change it to another one. Maybe like romance. Kind of warms it up. Also, if you go to your projects where you see area footage, where you see this 8B PC, you could press Alt on your keyboard and click it twice to make it 32 bits per channel to make the colors a little bit more vibrant. This might be a little bit too vibrant, so I'm just gonna maybe leave it at the 8 bits, but just play around with it. And yeah, this is basically the transition right here. Also on the form thing, you could maybe play around with all these settings if you want like a different look or feel to them. But yeah, another thing is, I noticed when I RAM preview it, this area don't like move fast enough for me. So basically, just pre-compose all these layers. Right click on those, pre-compose, and name this final, and then go in your main layer. Just maybe just right click on it, time, enable time remapping, and write about maybe here. I'm just gonna speed it up. Maybe right here, and then just speed it up. Right click, trim comp, and just RAM preview it. Well, while this is RAM previewing, guys, this is probably gonna be my last tutorial. Also, I only have like 2 more edits that I'm gonna make. The first one I'm currently working on right now, and the second one I haven't started yet, because in about, let's see, 26 more days is when I have to go do my military business. So I'm gonna be gone for about like 8 months to a year. So yeah, I'm gonna be gone for a long time, so you won't see any more videos from me. So just enjoy my time while I'm here, and just like enjoy my edits. I don't know, that's basically all I wanted to say. And let me just play this. Alright, that is beautiful right here. So basically, guys, that's the particle transition. So now I am going to show you the snippet of my edit that I'm working on, basically. So let me just make this a little bit bigger. Forget. Here we go. So yeah, guys, that's basically it. Hope you guys have a great day. I know I will. And goodbye. Peace on the streets, son.